Hey. Welcome to the Really podcast. It's your boy, Snack Morris, and I'm here with the one and only Daniel Son. What's going on, brother?
What's up, brother? How are you, man? Been
Oh,
a been a
living the dream.
busy week, my guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't really had that busy of a week. It's actually pouring rain here, dude. The thunder that woke me up this morning, it sounded like a car bomb. Like a literal explosion of like metal and glass, and then like subsequently like seven other car alarms going off. It was
I,
petrifying
I
to say
feel
the
like I
least.
haven't heard a thunderstorm in months, but one phenomenon that actually is crazy. Have you ever witnessed a thunderstorm during a blizzard or during a snow shower?
No,
Bro,
no, I
it's
don't
like a
think. I mean, out
thing.
of the top of my head,
Yo, it's like a thing.
really.
Like I've heard it like maybe like three or four times my whole life, but like it's one of the craziest, like because you don't expect those two to be together.
No, but then at the same time, like the fact that they aren't together is weird because like a storm is a storm. Like, why can't you have like wind? And I mean, you have everything that needs to be there. You have
Yeah,
moisture, you have
hot
wind.
and cold air and touching each other. And
Yeah, that's what makes snow.
I feel like
Yeah,
like all the right
you
ingredients are
would
there for
think.
it to happen, but it doesn't happen as often as you would think. But like it's definitely happened, which is kind of interesting.
Have you noticed my T-shirt is a Super Bowl champion Kansas City T-shirt? I'm not telling the future. It's old, but we have the Super Bowl next week. Who you
Really,
got?
I wish Taylor Swift was doing the halftime show. She's flying
Ew.
from Tokyo immediately after her show to watch Super Bowl.
And then heading to Australia.
Wicked. What
That
a life that is.
would you want that life though? Like, I mean, it sounds cool, but like literally, she's working.
But how about the fact that she has to fly into yesterday to fly into tomorrow immediately after?
And the middle stop is Las Vegas. It's not even like she's going to like Kansas City. Like she's
Yeah.
going to Vegas in between.
I mean, it's
You
better than
know,
Kansas City. It probably cuts out like 2 hours of her trip or whatever. But like, she's literally going to yesterday, watching the game, and then shooting over into tomorrow. Kind of interesting.
I mean, so you got San Francisco, and you got Kansas City, and honestly, as even though I think San Francisco is favored, I feel like Patrick Mahomes is like Thanos, man. He's just fucking inevitable.
I
Like,
think
you
I
know,
think the world wants him to win enough that like they're gonna figure out a way to manifest it because it's like Taylor Swift is the biggest thing in the NFL right now. Like, who would have
which
ever
is
thought?
wild because the NFL draws like an average of 57 million people per game.
Like there's some airline that's like changing their flight number to 1989 in honor of her for the Super
She
Bowl.
is the most dude. She is at like on a level like Michael Jackson was in like the 80s.
That's what they say. Like I've heard a lot of people talk like that because she doesn't really do a lot of collabs. Michael Jackson did like that one collab with Somebody's Watching Me,
Yeah,
but like she,
uncredited by the way.
yeah, she does her own thing. Like she's like a lot of people like said Beyonce, but like Beyonce had Destiny's Child. Like yeah, but she does collabs too. But Taylor Swift is kind of in a league of her own, bro.
Well, I feel like Beyonce's become she's almost become like slightly niche in like the way that she does like a lot of like political stuff, like with that video she did a few years ago where people with the police brutality thing. Like I feel like even though that's a thing that like, you should raise attention for because it's a shitty thing, it's also like I feel that, and like I said, not to get political here, but not every group agrees with it. So you're going to alienate some fan base by doing something that has any kind of political motivation, even if it's a small one.
Yeah, no
And I
matter
feel like
the
Taylor
second you take a
Swift,
side,
like,
you kind of burn up
yeah,
your fan base.
exactly. And I feel like because Taylor Swift really hasn't done that. I mean, I think everyone knows she's like a Biden supporter, but I feel like it's not like out there. Like I feel like that's why she's surpassed Beyonce is because she really hasn't done anything that just can't. She's not polarizing. Like I don't know. Like she doesn't have like a polarizing bone in her body. It's just either you think she's annoying or you don't. And the people who think she's annoying like hate listen to her.
I think
Which
people just resonate with her as a person. I think girls resonate with what her story is because the same way in like the late 90s and early 2000s, like every white kid in America resonated with Eminem. It's
well,
just it's somebody
that's
got
their
famous that
problem.
yeah, I mean they speak our language in a
Well,
weird
I'll
way.
be honest with you, dude. I feel like a hot take here. I think she's a phony, dude. Like I don't have anything against her. I like some of her music.
Who?
She just I don't know. She just comes off like a phony to me, like Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Like I feel like she's one of those girls that like writes music like, oh my god, I'm the dorky nerdy girl. Nobody likes me. I wear like cons and like skirts, and I sit in the bleachers alone. And oh, the popular guys don't like
she's
me. But
also
then,
kind of
like
the
in her
girl
real life, she's
from
like a mean girl.
yeah, but she's also that girl from like Boy Meets World that like broke up with Eric and then got a crazy record deal. Remember that episode? And she needed like Eric to
I
be
gotta
mean.
tell you, I don't.
No.
I don't.
Oh no.
That's your jam bag.
I love Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
But I like most
we all
like
know my
household
favorite.
shows until they go to college. Once they go to college, it's terrible.
We all know my favorite character from Boy Meets World. She does porn now.
Yeah.
I have her book. I have
That's
her
why
book. I gotta read it.
I can't believe she wrote
I
a
feel
book.
like it's not gonna be as juicy as I think.
No, definitely not, bro.
Yeah, I'm reading it purely for
Yeah, ironically enough, there was an episode where
the what I think it'd be about. Rated X.
there was an episode where they blew up a picture of her in like a towel after the shower and she got all like bent out of shape from it and she was like, how could you do that? That was a personal picture. And now Disney like disowned her because she does adult films. It's
Yeah, she's like really successful at it too, dude. Like she's won like mad awards and stuff for it,
well, I
like the
mean,
Oscars of porn, the AVNs. Like, yeah,
she's
she's
a
a big deal.
she's a Disney transplant. She was always going to be successful at that because
I mean,
it's
listen, if you're gonna do
oh,
something, why not?
but definitely what's her name? You talked to her on
Maitland
Instagram, like
Ward, she's so Irish.
yeah,
It's
you've talked to her on
astonishing.
Instagram like 3 or 4 times, haven't you? Like, haven't you actually had like real conversations with her?
Not really. Like I follow her on Instagram, and like obviously she doesn't like post anything like X-rated or anything. It's just whatever. But I've like made comments that she's responded to. You know,
Good to know when they still read their stuff.
I think that's sometimes why I comment on famous people's things. I just want to see if they respond.
Like, are
Like
you actually
I
reading
know
this
that they
shit?
see it. Like it pops up and they go, and then I don't know. It's kind of fun when they see like a username they don't know, and they're like, oh, I'll answer that fella, and I'm the fella.
I
So
don't know if this is a true story or not, but apparently once Kylie Jenner forgot to turn her post notifications off and she dropped the Instagram like a post and she couldn't stop her phone in time, so she had to like put it in a freezer from overheating. Because
that sounds about right.
that's I
I
guess
mean, what
that's
she has like 100 billion
she has
followers or
180
some
million
insane number.
followers. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
But most people have like a
It's
lot of
still only like 10% of the planet.
180 million people
You
following it.
know?
Like she can do anything. She could post a bag of shit and get 1 million likes, and somebody will buy it. I think she makes like $80,000 a
Oh,
post.
dude.
Ridiculous number like that.
Who did I saw? That's insane. $80,000 a post.
It's probably
I'll
more,
take $80,000 a year.
but
You know?
besides that, Carl Weathers unfortunately passed away this week. Did you see
Yeah. I
Stallone's
mean,
tribute?
okay, so I saw Schwarzenegger's, and I was like the first thing I did when I saw it pop up on Instagram that he passed away was like I immediately went to Stallone's page and nothing was up yet. So I haven't really had a chance to look at it, but I can look it up now and I can read it to everyone and we can all cry.
Is it sweet?
You know?
I feel like it
Did you
had to
read
be.
Schwarzenegger's?
Well, I mean, they did Predator together. I mean, Carl Weathers kind of
Yeah,
like
but I'm saying they were
bridged
like
the gap.
friends.
Yeah, of course they were all friends. But I think he was more
Oh,
Stallone.
his is a video. I can't even read it. He did a video tribute Stallone.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I
he
gotta watch this
peaked
on my
him
own time.
in my private time. No, I did watch
In
it,
my
but
private time.
to paraphrase it, it basically was like, a big reason for his success was the Apollo Creed character, right?
Oh yeah.
Like he doesn't mince words about that. Like Carl Weathers is a big reason Stallone is who he is, because up until that
Did
point,
you? No, yeah. I'm sorry.
no, up until that point, like Rocky was like, I mean, Stallone was no name, pretty much.
Did you see how he got the part, Carl Weathers?
I
Did you ever
did
hear that story?
no, that's
No.
interesting. How'd he get it?
So he screen tests for it, right? and it's not going well. So he goes in there. The reason why it's not going well is because he goes in there and he asks them who he's going to screen test with, and they bring Stallone in because he's Rocky, and it's not going well. And he turns to the casting director and he says, Carl Weathers says, he goes, I'd be doing a lot better if you actually brought a real actor in here for me to work with. Completely like eviscerates Stallone. And they were like, you know what? That's exactly the vibe we're going for. He does not take this man seriously, and he doesn't take him seriously in the movie. And it just, from there on out, you have fucking,
That's actually,
you
isn't it weird
it's
how
unbelievably perfect. And
some shit
talk
like
about the
works out that
balls,
way?
though, to like, because he wasn't like really an established actor either. Like he was on the Raiders and he got injured, and he wasn't like a top flight player. He was in college, but not in the NFL. And his career got cut very short, and he kind of went into the acting thing, and he still wasn't like really anybody either. So to have the fucking set on you to fucking say that, and then to subsequently like become that's the role that people like we talked about this like before, like not being able to differentiate the character from the actor. Like, I mean, people don't even call, some people don't even know his name is Carl Weathers. Like, oh shit, look, that's Apollo Creed and Happy Gilmore.
And
Like,
chubbs.
yeah. So yeah, Adam Sandler put out something too.
I mean, I'm sure he would. Like they were tight as hell.
Yeah, I mean, apparently he was like a really nice guy. I mean, there was no doubt, but it's very sad that he's gone. That actually shook me up a little bit because that's like someone that like has been around your entire life from like a film series that you like hold very dear. And it's hard to imagine the people that we grew up idolizing are getting older. Like Stallone and Schwarzenegger are like close to 80.
No,
Like,
we're hitting that point, bro. Like we're the top talent of our generation is aging out, and it's weird because I don't necessarily know if like a ton of people are replacing them. The only people that seem to be replacing them are the ones that are like maybe 10 to 15 years younger. Like even Keanu Reeves is in the 50s, 60s almost.
He's
Like
58.
yeah, like and he's that like generation afterwards, and like I mean 58's not a young buck anymore, bro. Like
No.
who are the new ones?
I mean, dude, not for nothing. Like Channing Tatum, I'm not saying he's in the same category, but he's in his 40s.
He stopped acting, I feel like. He's like nowhere. I always there was rumors forever about a 21 Jump Street Men in Black crossover. Like
I'm
that was
so
like
glad that didn't happen.
no. Like I figured like I thought about it. Like if you had made them, right? I thought about the perfect ending to this movie, and I swear to God, because it makes so much sense. Like something happens, it could have happened to Will Smith, whatever. These guys get recruited, whatever. They do the entire mission at the end. Kay thanks them and then neuralizes them. And they would just have no memory of any of the events that ever happened. And then they would
See,
be
that would be cool if they were recruited and then neuralized, and it didn't become the thing where like they were recruited and they're new members of MIB. That could be funny. That's not a bad idea.
yeah, I wouldn't make them like full fledged, like we got drafted. I'd be like, this is something like in one of their movies, they came across an alien that like had to be dealt with that they already had an in for. And we're like, we need you to do this because now like Jay's compromised or some shit. But at the end,
What do you think would have been worse, that crossover or the Fast and the Furious Jurassic World crossover?
I mean, if you give Fast and the Furious 10 more minutes, that crossover might still become reality because they're willing to do anything to keep the party going, bro.
I'm
Vin
sorry.
Diesel 6 years old.
Are you looking at my background?
I am. It's
My
my favorite
head
movie. I
fits
said it in our last
perfectly.
podcast.
My head fits perfectly over Kim Basinger, and I look like
You're standing there with
fucking
Michael Keaton.
David Bowie in Labyrinth. It's unbelievable. This is like, it's incredible that that's just the angle we got. What a mane.
I
What a
mean, she had
fucking
a
mane.
full head of 80s hair, bro. It was 89. It was the teasing comb and the hairspray. That's why we have the hole in the ozone.
Oh yeah, fucking
Aquanet.
Aquanet's responsible.
I fucking blame Aquanet.
I blame
100%.
Aquanet. You can't
It's
blame anyone else, just Aquanet.
solely Aquanet. That's why it's off the market now. It does
Is it
not
really?
exist. No, it's gone. I think it's over. I think you can only get it in like 99-cent stores now. And it's what's
What
left
a
over from like
bitch.
1994.
Yeah. Oh, dude. You ever bought hair gel at a dollar store like the LA Looks?
Bro, it's goop with bubbles solidified in it. It looks like the shit they froze Stallone in for Demolition Man.
It just drips off you, no matter what. It drips off you until it gets hard,
And it's like all it seems to do is make your hair wet. That's it. It
and
never,
then crispy like a fucking
bro.
potato chip.
You might as well just pour fucking alcohol in your hair. It's like vodka. Here you go. Done. Game over, man.
Is that why so many guys from our generation are fucking balding from the dollar store LA Looks?
Yeah, we had no money back in the day. LA Looks was like a thing and it fucked all of us. No, I never used LA Looks. I used Got to Be, but I'm honestly surprised I still
Gotta
have,
be was good.
because Got to Be was literally called fucking glue and I still have hair. I mean, it's doing stuff now. Like that's
You have
it.
got to be in there right now.
I have nothing in there right now. I have hat hair in there right
What's amazing is that you ever like remember how you used to just like pour that shit on before like a night out, and now like the thought of putting any of that in my hair, just like the feeling of it like makes me cringe. It's like why on earth would I want my hair to feel like it's just made of like concrete?
now. No, I found this stuff called Suavecito. It's actually probably the best stuff. It's super expensive. It's
That's
like
the skull with the pompadour, right?
yeah, it's like 17 bottles, 17 bottles, $17 for like a little can. But like, I'm not gonna lie, I bought a 3 pack. That shit'll probably last me almost a year because you
Yeah.
don't need a lot
Yeah.
of it,
Well,
and you can like manipulate your hair like throughout the day.
did
So
you don't use the Mexican guy stuff, the gorilla,
no, no,
the
no,
gorilla, whatever it is. You know that
no.
stuff, right?
I know exactly
That
what
shit is
you're talking
fucking
about.
serious.
Nah, bro,
That's serious.
I went on like a barber hunt the other day because like my barber like 2 weeks ago he hits me up and I book a time at like 5 o'clock. And he's like, yo, can you do 4? So I'm like, bet. All right, I'll just do 4. I had nothing else to do anyway. Like, I didn't book 4 because you were booked. Then he's like, show up at 4. Then as we're getting to 4 o'clock, he goes, 4:30. And I'm like, all right. And then he's like, yo, my bad, 4:45. And it's like, bro, like you told me 4 o'clock. Like I
Yeah.
shifted my whole fucking day to make 4 o'clock happen. And then you just gave me back my time essentially that I booked in the first place. I got super pissed. So I went to look for another
Bar-
barber, but the other barber wasn't as successful.
oh,
So
barbers, they're like tattoo artists. They totally under and overestimate like how long it takes to do things. And I love tattoo artists. I love barbers. Obviously, we have tattoos, but I mean, sometimes they're just like they try to squeeze so much in, and then I don't know. It's like you know how long it takes for you to cut somebody's hair. Like, why are we doing this?
but
Why do
then
we
they
got
get
like a line
lazy
here?
though. On top of everything else, they'll do it, but then they're like, I don't want to do it anymore. So every piece of ambition
Yeah,
I
very finicky.
fucking over
Very
it.
finicky group of do they think they're artists like chefs and stuff? Like
I mean,
very finicky.
they are very finicky. It's a good way to put it. But
Well, to cap off what started this entire conversation, I have the Kansas City Chiefs by 3. So hot
yeah,
take.
we'll
Did you
see.
see the controversy with that? By
No.
the way, so the running back Christian McCaffrey, he's like the highest paid running back I think in NFL history. Makes like an average of 16 million a year. He dates or is married to Olivia Culpo.
Hmm.
His mom wanted a suite, and the suite he's playing in the Super Bowl, and his mother couldn't get a suite. It was $2.5 million for the suite at the Vegas Stadium where the Raiders play Allegiant. And they were saying that like a headline came out saying that the star running back of the team, the Super Bowl, can't afford a suite in the building for a game he's playing in. And then Olivia Culpo was like, "Oh, that's bullshit," and they wound up buying one for his mother, for like $2.5 million, and they didn't even want to give this man a discount. He's playing in it
I mean, he has it though. They know he has it.
like that. But dude, that's a lot though. I mean, even if you make 16 million a year, to drop $2.5 million on a suite to watch a game for your mom for like 3 hours. I mean, I could see like
You're getting an Usher
I was
concert too.
in Vegas. Oh well, I'm sure she's thrilled about that. That's the main reason why she's going. But I mean, can you imagine like $2.5 million in Vegas to get you like a sick mansion? Like that's like a fucking room for like 2 3 hours. That's wild.
No, it's sick,
So
dude.
what?
The money associated
That
with
is
it.
very wild.
So I forgot there was this Instagram page the other day that posted the most expensive Most expensive commercials of all time filmed for the Super Bowl. And then, dude, the numbers were in like the 16 and $20 million range.
For like a 30-second to one
No, no,
minute
no. For like what
one
they
minute
like
spot.
all in. So like what they paid to film it plus what they paid to place it. So it could be like a minute, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. But yeah, some of these were like 20 mil.
Oh, I
That's
don't
a
doubt it.
lot of people. How many
That's actually
people
the best
watch the
part of the
Super
Super
Bowl?
Bowl.
I wonder how many people do watch the Super Bowl.
Dude, it averages like over 100 million people. I think it's like 110 or 117 million. It's insane. Like it's watched everywhere. That's why if you notice, like football doesn't really rely on like streaming as much. I mean, like don't get me wrong, like there's games that are on Peacock, there's um games that are on Paramount Plus, and games that are on what's the other one? One of those streaming services. Oh, Prime. Thursday games are on Prime. But like
Yeah,
there's no
Prime is big
streaming
right now.
service for football. Like you can get the one for the NBA, you can get the one for baseball because it doesn't need it. It's on like CBS, NBC, Fox, and it still
So
gets
Raw is
monster
now
numbers.
on Netflix for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a big one too.
It's insane. Dude, I'd say the next 5 to 10 years, there'll be no more like over the air TV. It'll just be over the air radio. And everything will be like you'll be able to turn Netflix on. They'll have like 24-hour news and weather, like
That's
just
what
running.
it's just internet TV, bro. It's been internet. It's just an easier way to disperse the content. That's all it is, bro.
I
But
think it's overrated, and I think that segues us into our next thing.
you got me.
Yeah, I got you.
Overrated,
That's it.
underrated,
Are you touching my ass? That fucking movie
properly
sucks.
rated.
Yeah,
Shout out to Terry.
properly fucking rated. That
Properly
movie's
rated.
terrible.
Night at the Rock. Sorry. No, yeah, I had this idea because I've seen it online. Like a couple people do it, like overrated, underrated. And I feel like talking about blockbuster films, so many people have like different takes and point of views that I was like, let's let two people that have all the reason in the world to share their opinion.
Oh yeah,
Let us take a stab at overrated, underrated. Let's
dude,
see.
we are doing what our generation does best: giving
Judging.
the general public an unwanted opinion on something they probably don't even care about. We're
Yeah,
making our generation proud.
it's a declaration of more.
Um, yeah, dude, there's a lot of movies that are overrated. I feel like there are a lot of movies that are underrated when they come out, and over time they become properly appreciated. And then I also think that the reverse is true too. Like there are movies that are revered when they come out, and then they just you watch it 10, 15, 20 years later, and you're like, this fucking movie sucks. Like, I
This
don't
did
know.
not age well because the right movies are timeless.
Right.
Timeless, absolutely
Like The
timeless.
Godfather is timeless. We don't have to talk about that. If you haven't seen it, then it's just not something you're ever gonna see, I feel like at this point. Um
So what would be a
so
good
all
one?
right.
What do
So
you think is overrated, underrated?
well, I want to start with the Indiana Jones trilogy because I do love Indiana Jones, but I also feel like the rankings of them.
So there's got to be a set of rules for Indiana Jones. Are we ranking the original three, four, and five?
Yeah, no, the other ones don't count. That's a separate thing.
All right, so four and five are out of the loop. We're just counting one, two,
Yeah.
three.
Which I we're counting the OG trilogy.
Okay. So I definitely
So
think
for
it
me,
is.
for me personally,
Mhm.
I love all of them, and this is very hard for me. But I really do think that Temple of Doom is the best one. That's me.
So
I feel like that one is underrated, and it should be number one. And I feel like Raiders of the Lost Ark is slightly overrated because it's the first one.
I actually 100% agree with you. I think Raiders of the Lost Ark gets all the shine, but I think Temple of Doom is the best one.
Me too.
From start to finish, it's just a great movie.
It is,
So
and it's a prequel.
it's so weird, but I definitely think it is underrated. I think Raiders is overrated slightly, but I think Raiders is definitely overrated.
The best thing about Raiders is that the movie is called Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was never called Indiana Jones. He was just a character in the movie. It wasn't like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Later on, it became that when they retitled them on VHS and DVD. But the original movie poster was just Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Indiana Jones was just a character because they didn't know they were going to make more.
Yeah.
So that is I do like that part about it, and also I mean, Last Crusade is honestly one of the best trilogy enders.
Yeah.
Like they went out on a high note and still felt the need to tell more stories.
No, I
I
think
mean,
he
the
did
whole
a good
dad
job.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the third one's great. Honestly, I got a 2-1-3. That's how I rate it, and they're all very close.
What about
You
Rambo?
know,
How would you rate
I think it's
Rambo?
um I think Rambo's underrated, the original, because I think it gets so swallowed up with like 2 and 3 and 4 and 12 and 11 and 1,000
The last
that
one's
the
terrible.
first one's nuance gets lost.
Yeah, because the first one they definitely went after. Like I think it's properly rated because I think it gets the burn for being Rambo 1. But
Right.
I think it's properly rated for the wrong reasons. I think it's because 2 and 3 amplified 1, but I think 1 on its own was definitely properly rated. It just
Well, one's based on a book.
yeah, about a guy who has like severe like PTSD and shit, right?
He actually commits suicide at the end of the book. That's how that book ends.
Does it really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that. I mean, it made sense for the king of the continuity. I mean, Sylvester Stallone's middle name is sequel. Like it
yeah,
might
dude.
as well, but
But the first one's like a very nuanced movie. It's like this guy who's in this town, and it's just like he's a Vietnam vet, and they didn't get a lot of the respect that they deserved coming home, and they try to run him out of town, and just like the PTSD clicks in, and he goes into like straight like war mode. The second and third ones were like, okay, cool, this guy has like PTSD. Let's like drop him into the middle of like Afghanistan with like a fucking machine gun, and he kills an entire army. Like they became cartoonish after the first one. The first one's actually a very nuanced film.
no, really good one. Definitely a really good one. What do you
I
got?
feel like all of his movies do that. All of Stallone's movies start off as like this like slightly artsy, nuanced film with like layers and textures and character building, and then the sequels are just like it's like
Slap.
that meme with like Jesus on the horse with the handgun. It's like what the fuck is the like, Bible part two? Like what the fuck are we doing here? Like you ever seen that meme?
Dude, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
Because they always try to
it's
up the ante,
insane.
bro. Like they always try to up the ante and they forget that like sometimes psychological thrillers like work. Like it works because there is that layer. We talked about it in last week's episode too. Like there's just depth that a lot of people ignore in the sequel because they're like, why rehash the same story? It's like you're not rehashing it, you're just continuing to tell it with
Right.
less bombs. And a lot of stories, like if you think about it, like one of the movies that we talk about over the time all the time are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. How the first one is
Mm.
like super dark, and the second one they lighten up like crazy. Mighty Ducks 2. Mighty Ducks, if it came out today, would never be about a almost disbarred lawyer who got caught for DWI being put in charge of kids and then telling them to cheat.
Right.
And then
No, yeah, no, you're right.
D2 lightened it up super, super crazy.
And the original Turtles movie was super successful, but like the studio was like, nah, you gotta like lighten it up. That's why the second one, as much as everyone like likes Secret of the Ooze better, because I think we remember it better. I mean, the original was 1990, so we were 5. The second one was like we were like 7. We're a little bit older, so I think you remember the movie experience better for Secret of the Ooze. But I mean, I gotta tell you, I mean, that's probably one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, the original Turtles movie.
I think the original is underrated, and I think the sequel is overrated, and I think the third one is should never have
Yeah.
existed.
No, the third one is, dude. Have you ever watched the third one like recently,
No, I'll never watch it again, and I'm okay with
dude?
it.
I'm telling you, put it on for like 10 or 15 minutes. It's like watching like a Hallmark movie when it comes to like quality. It is god awful.
I don't know what they were thinking, and like not for nothing,
Turtles in Time video games, what they were thinking.
I was watching the yeah, no, it's a fact. I was actually watching it the other day with Rebecca, and she hadn't seen it in a while, or she hadn't seen it, I don't remember, but bro, Shredder's entrance is probably one of the most underrated things in movie history. He has
Dude, that is a great shot.
he has the most thugged out pan long form, the way the shadow meets, like, bro, it is one of the most perfect entrances in film ever.
Absolutely. And the fact that the turtles weren't CGI was even better.
Yeah, I feel like that's a
They
big thing.
don't
I
need
think
to
they're
be.
aren't they coming back out with it, and they're not going to do CGI? Aren't they doing animatronic again?
I don't know. The cartoon did pretty good. Did you see the Mutant Mayhem?
No.
It's on Paramount. Watch it. I saw it. Me and Ali saw it in the theater.
Was it good?
It is. I mean, they once again, it's like another telling of the story. So like in this one, like Splinter isn't the pet of Orokusaki, and he's also not a human that was turned into a rat either. So they like did their own thing
It's cool.
with it. He's a rat who finds the turtles dripping in the covered in the ooze, and he tries to help them because he realizes that they're babies, and it transforms all of them. And he brings them out to try and get food, and people are like freaked out by them. So he finds a book on kung fu, like in the garbage, and he teaches it to them from the book.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but and they're actual teenagers. They're like supposed to be like 13 or
I
14
feel
years
like
old. They're like young.
where we used to like live in like the reboot, and we've definitely made it to the retcon era too. Like, bro, we're really like movies are out of stories. Like so much shit just like let's go back. Like, look at Mike Myers. Like, first off, Mike Myers, how would you rate it?
Which one? The original?
Yeah, the original.
The original is correctly rated. The original is correctly rated. The second one, the second one is my favorite horror sequel of all time. And I know John Carpenter put the whole she's the long lost sister in there to piss everybody off because he didn't want to make the second one because it was supposed to be a one off, and that's what they agreed upon. That's why the third one is a good one. The third one is a completely underrated movie because people rate that movie because it doesn't have Michael Myers, even though it wasn't supposed to. So nobody properly rates that movie. That fucking movie is great. I'm sorry. Season of the Witch is a great movie, and people need to learn to watch it like on its
Very
own.
interesting. Like like I watched it recently.
But
like
I love the second one. It's in the hospital.
bro, I agree. I mean, I
I
think
don't
the
know. I love the
series
second one,
as a
man.
whole has become. I think most horror series after the first or second one become entirely
A
overrated.
joke. They
Yeah,
parody themselves.
like Jason in Manhattan. However, Jason X underrated. I don't know
Really?
why.
By way of what?
I don't even care, bro. It's just it mixes Jason
It's a
Voorhees
great coaster. It's a great
slasher
coaster, that
films.
movie.
Do you know, like online, like if you look this up, Jason X has some of the most creative kills in the entire series.
But we're missing the fact that like you find a fucking floating piece of ice, and then you look it up, and it's like, oh, this guy like a bajillion years ago killed like 11,000 people. Let's thaw him out. Like it's so like these people are scientists. Like why? Why would you do that? Like why would you at all do that? And then he becomes Super Jason.
Bro, he's
He
like
looks like Super
merged
Shredder.
with like nanotech. Yeah, it was Kane Hodder's last movie, so I think that there's some attachment there. But I definitely, it's funny. Like I love that movie. It's definitely rated where it should be. Like if you look at its IMDb score, I think it's like 2.8. Like it's fucking terrible. But I
It
don't
is a
know.
bad movie.
Some movies I like that are trash. Like
Oh, dude, most of the movies I like are great. That's actually a great movie to fall asleep to.
what?
Jason X. Like that movie wouldn't be scary if I was watching it like with my kidnappers. Like I could be bound and gagged
Yeah,
like in the back of a
honestly,
van. I still wouldn't be scared.
that's a great idea for a podcast episode. Top movies to fall asleep to, because my entire library on Amazon Prime is like movies to literally fall asleep to. But I have one
You
for
know
you.
what movie I fell asleep to last night?
What?
Aliens.
I have certain
Yeah.
criteria when it comes to sleep movies, but I'll get into that in the podcast because I'm
Coming soon.
very picky about like what movies I fall asleep to because there's got whatever. I'll get into the whole nuance of it. But Jurassic Park, first one, properly rated, series, overrated.
I honestly think that the third one is underrated and the second one is overrated for me.
See, I'm part of the different class that I think the second one is underrated and I think the third one is overrated.
I mean, anything with Jeff, I'll watch Jeff Goldblum do anything. I mean, I have his jazz album. That's just the level. My wife is in love with Jeff Goldblum.
I didn't even know he had a jazz album. And
Oh yeah, it's actually good. He
is it
doesn't
underrated
sing
or
though. He
overrated?
plays piano.
He looks like he'd be a jazz band. Like him and the fuck is his name?
He's awkwardly tall. Like I feel like he's too tall for everything. he was on like Colbert or somebody like a while back, and like the episode was like 6 hours long, and they had to cut it down
Harry Connick
because he
Jr.
just like goes off on tangents.
He does. Is he in a band with Harry Connick Jr.? Because Harry Connick Jr. does jazz too, right?
They're not in a band together. No, they should be. That'd be
That'd be
great.
something to see.
They were in a movie together.
Which Independence Day?
Yeah. All right. There's a good example.
There's
I,
really
that movie is okay. So hot take. That movie is slightly overrated, and it's tough because like it is pretty spectacular of a movie, and it is kind of great. But there's and as much as I like love it, there's something about it that feels overrated, and I can't put my finger on it.
you know what
You
I
know
like
what I mean?
about
Like
that
I
movie?
don't know.
It actually owns like several records for set design that will never be broken because it was like the last movie before they switched to doing mass disaster movies and CGI. So a lot of the effects
Yeah,
are practical, which is kind of
I don't
wild.
know. Maybe I just want it to be overrated. I don't know. It's just there's so many things in it that are great, but they're just I don't know. It just gives me that overrated feel, and I don't know why. Is it because everybody universally loves it? That there's like that part of you that feels like you have to
It
like
was, I mean,
knock it
it
down a
was
peg.
it was the prime time for Will Smith. Like he was definitely in his moment during that film.
I feel like Will Smith is like the most annoying actor. Like I feel he's just like
He's fucking overrated.
he's so over. He's like the Fresh Prince in like every movie. Like he's annoying.
Yeah, he's overrated. Like, and not even for anything. Like, he just hasn't made a good movie since like 2006.
Except for the one he won the Oscar for, which I didn't see, but apparently he was really good. That is such a weird dynamic, dude. You have that like meltdown where you smack Chris Rock on live TV. Everyone thought it was a joke, then they realized it wasn't a joke,
And then
and
he
then
went
he gets an
Oscar.
award, and like at the same show, they wanted to like kick him out. He refused to leave, and then he gets a standing ovation from everybody, and it's like I don't know, man. Like that's like a phony thing about Hollywood. Like Chris Rock is in Hollywood also. He made a joke. He's a comedian. Not all jokes land. I don't think it was anything that's something that like if you're offended by his joke, you say something to him in private or like any of the commercial breaks, you fucking
Yeah.
send him a text. I'm sure you have his number. You can get it from anyone in that room, mind you. And
Or just be like, yo,
yeah,
dick move, bro.
yeah, exactly. And then you have like fucking Denzel Washington like holding him back, and then like everyone's kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And then you give him a standing ovation, and
Yeah.
like the whole night is overshadowed by that stupid thing. Like it's just a weird thing. And I don't know. It's just it shows how phony Hollywood can be. Like, I don't know. I don't know what made me think of that, but like he just annoys me, Will Smith. Like if he's not in a Bad Boys movie, he's fucking annoying. And he's even annoying in those movies.
Yeah, because he wasn't the same character in the first one as he was in the second one. I think the
Yeah.
first one is actually underrated and the second one is overrated.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, the second one is good, but it's only good because it's like a almost 3 hour movie of just Michael Bay blowing shit up. The first one actually
It's
has like
exactly what you
nuance.
said. The first one was more nuanced. They have this girl, they have this like murder mystery thing happening. Like they're trying to get to the bottom of the drugs. Like it's way more investigative, sneaking around. And then eventually we get to guns.
Right.
But part two is like, no, it's guns from the beginning.
Yeah, like dude, honestly, not for nothing. That scene on the bridge in Miami there is fire.
It is. But like when they go into the house, like literally fucking they're making jokes about like the fact that Will Smith just keeps killing people. Like it's
Yeah,
like it's a humor in the movie. Like, oh, dead, dead. Can't talk to this one. He's dead. Like Martin Lawrence
yeah,
called it out, and Martin Lawrence should not live on Star Island in that movie. Like the fact that he's on like one of the $1 million properties is ridiculous.
with his oh yeah, but complaining about he can't afford an in-ground pool.
Yeah, like I know
I
exactly
mean,
where they are in Miami. Like that's a $3 million house, bro. Unless Mike loaned him the money.
you know what's wild too is that I feel like sometimes like people are like directors sometimes are afraid to make like small movies. Like the reason why Bad Boys the first one works is because it's a small movie. Like you know what I mean? Like it had like great action scenes and stuff in it too, but like it didn't have to be like so elaborate to be good. And I feel like the second one needed to be so elaborate to be good. The third one's actually pretty good, but I've only seen it like once.
You
I'd
know,
have to like revisit it.
You know, has a really good take on this, Ryan Reynolds, because he literally was like, Deadpool was super successful because we had no budget, we had to get creative. Then they came out with Deadpool 2, and he's like, he literally said at one point before like Deadpool 3 was a thing, he was like, I don't see us doing it because unless we either drastically reduce the budget, which forces us to go back to like figuring shit out, or
Right,
the fact that they got Hugh Jackman back on board. But like he was like,
dude.
we can't just keep blowing things up because it loses its value. Like he
Right.
understands that really well.
Matt Reeves, the director of the Batman,
Mhm.
he said that from what he's seen, he thinks that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have saved the MCU,
I
and
mean,
it actually makes him. Yeah, he actually now wants to direct. I forget what movie he said he wants to direct now, but yeah, he said they're going to save the MCU, and I don't think he's like being hyperbolic because there's no incentive for him to say or not say that. Like,
yeah. I mean, it definitely. This is the first like real segue of. Is it? I feel like Marvel movies are kind of shit now, but like this is the first time the X-Men is like brought in, right? Like they're actually
well,
doing.
did you see the new Captain Marvel movie?
I didn't.
All right, so spoiler alert. The end scene of that is the X-Men. Kelsey Grammer's back as Beast,
Nice. Good call.
but they CGI'd him a little bit, so he actually looks like the cartoon from the 90s.
When is that coming back out? Wasn't Disney Plus supposed to be bringing like X-Men 92 back to Disney Plus?
Yeah, it's called 90. They have the 97 out as a
97.
sequel. I think it's out now, and I think they're working on a second season.
One of the
But
greatest. That and Batman the animated series, one of the best animated series of all time.
dude, I love Batman the animated series. Superman the animated series, played by this, created by the same people, so it kind of looks the same.
Yeah.
Also very underrated. That's on HBO Max right now.
That,
But
should give that
I'm
a
not gonna
watch.
lie to you,
A
dude.
while.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I think that the new Deadpool movie is gonna be what we thought Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is gonna be. I think this is where I think this is a rumor you're gonna see Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Supposedly,
Like there's a lot swirling around, and the director said a lot of what you've did not right.
a lot of what? My bad, you broke up for a second.
So sorry. He said the director Sean Levy of Deadpool 3 said that a lot of the stuff that you've heard, the rumors are true. Not specifically saying like which ones. So I think you're gonna see a lot, and I think it's gonna have like a convergence, and I think that's what's gonna bring the they're on a different Earth, and the Earths are gonna collide. They're all gonna become the main continuity.
So smart
So
to put that
I
in
don't know.
Ryan
I'm looking
Reynolds.
forward to it. Kelsey Grammer as Beast is spot on, man. That's spot on casting.
That is really good
I mean,
casting.
Fraser Crane as Beast,
I think Hugh
so good.
Jackman as Wolverine is overrated, though. I'm sorry.
I can see
Sorry.
that because Wolverine's supposed to be short. Like he's actually supposed to look like Danny DeVito.
You know who I actually think would have made a really, and this went around online
Harry
years
Potter.
ago, Tom Hardy.
No,
Have you, first off, before you fucking,
no. Tom Hardy's the most overrated guy on Earth.
you watch your fucking mouth. Have you seen the
He
movie
sucks.
Have you seen the movie Warrior?
Yeah.
That version of Tom Hardy plays Wolverine.
Okay. So Tom Hardy does nothing but mumble in every movie. He's like
That's still for
he's like
Wolverine.
Brad Pitt in Snatch in real life.
Like he says words that don't actually fucking mean anything.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. He reminds me of like if Conor McGregor was like an actor, and I'm not counting the new Roadhouse. I'm just saying I don't know. He's like weirdly twitchy, and he's like he mumbles a lot. I don't know what the fuck he's doing half the time he's doing it. Like, does he even know what the fuck he's doing half the time he's doing anything? I don't know.
No, but remember,
I'm
like
not a Tom Hardy guy. I'm sorry.
I,
Overrated.
I still think he could have did it. I don't think Liev Schreiber should have been Sabretooth either. Like that was just dumb casting.
He's a really good actor. He's an underrated actor. I think that
he just doesn't always find the right roles for himself.
Yeah, but he does do well in them when he does find it.
I feel like he could have done a better, like they could have done a better job with him in Scream, considering he was
Yeah,
common. I feel like they could have did a better job with him.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. I think that I don't know. Do you ever see the pictures of Harry Potter as Wolverine? Like the mock-ups?
No.
No?
Is that going around? Is that a thing?
It has for a while. I mean, he's got the stature for it. Radcliffe's not a big guy at all.
No, I mean they could just widen him
I
up.
really do think the next Wolverine needs to be a small guy. You know? Are you looking it up?
Of course I'm fucking wow.
I feel like he can't pull off the voice Radcliffe though.
I mean,
Like I
not for
feel like he's
nothing.
too British.
I don't know if this is gonna show, but like look at that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look bad. I just don't know if he has the personality for it. But he
That's
has the stature, I think. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if you can see this one.
Hugh Jackman's a big fucking guy. Yeah, it's not terrible.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman's like 6'4". That's what fucking fucks it up for him.
Yeah. He's supposed to be like 5'3".
But yeah, no,
Radcliffe is like what, 5'6",
I
five
think
eight?
at the end of the day, I think Hugh Jackman is always like I don't know why the world fell in love with him as Wolverine, but I think he's been wildly overrated since the first one.
I mean, as an actor or just in that role?
No, just in that role. I think he's a good actor. I don't think he
He's
ever
the last song and dance man, bro. He's from a bygone era.
he is a song and dance
He
man. That's why he was in
really,
Les Miserables. And some other thing. He was in The Showman too. Didn't we talk about that the other day?
oh, all right. Okay. Dude, I think honestly, like the one of the biggest Oscar snubs of all time is Jackman not winning for Jean Valjean in fucking Les Miserables, dude. He is not only does he sing like a savage in that movie, he's great.
I think we've already proven like historically that award shows they're a popularity contest, which is why Leo had of all things he won for the fucking Revenant. Like I can think of 4 other movies he should have won for.
I mean, The Revenant is a powerful film in the sense that the dedication to that role is insane. But no, it's not his best role. And you know how the Academy is, bro. Like, you want to win an Oscar, go play a real person. They seem to not value original characters, which is so
Yeah.
weird to me. They like imitation. I don't know.
I think it's because it's like that
Weird.
whole imitating life, like they can judge it based on like, did they match this person's nuances? But even still, like he could have won for Wolf of Wall Street if they really wanted to go that route. Like he's impersonated people,
Right.
impersonated Hoover. Who else did he impersonate? The guy, Howard Hughes.
Oh yeah.
He spent like he was literally pandering to the Academy, like, yo, I'm doing the shit you're asking for. Oh,
The one thing,
if you
my one
can.
knock on that movie, The Aviator, is that DiCaprio has such a baby face that even though he might have been the same age as Howard Hughes, like during the time that they were at the time frame of the film, he just doesn't look it.
No. I
Like there
think
was a
Catch Me
long
If You
period of time
Can
when he
should have
looked
won an
12.
Oscar though. Catch
He
Me If
should
You
have
Can.
3.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Speaking of underrated actors, man, John Goodman. I watched The Big Lebowski the other day.
John Goodman is. I watched Sea of Love the other day.
Great in that movie.
He was great in that movie. We both had Goodman weekends without realizing. But
I'm
no,
shocked that he didn't get an Oscar nomination for The Big Lebowski.
I think he lived in the Roseanne era for too long, and I think he gets like kind of pigeonholed because of that. Like as a
Do you,
comedian,
do you think he has like? Do you think he's one of those like actors where like he's well respected in a room he's in, but maybe not by like the Academy or the masses, but like if he's like at the Golden Globes, like he's like other actors look at him as like an actor's actor.
no, I think they know who he is, but I think they never had a conversation with him. I think he's that guy in the room.
Really,
Yes,
really, because he's great in Argo.
he's great in everything he's done, but he's never led a movie except the Flintstones. He's always some
King Ralph.
he's always a background character though. Like I thought he was great in Flight.
Yeah,
Flight was a
yeah,
phenomenal.
he's a good character actor. You're right. He makes movies better, but he doesn't necessarily. He's not the draw. But that's
You
why they
think
have
that-
the supporting character, like the supporting actor Oscar. Man.
but he would have to be like the supporting of the supporting. And not for nothing, I'm pretty sure Flintstones was only as good as it was because of Rick Moranis. Who
Oh
is
yeah, well that actually was spot on casting
Rick
too.
Moranis was perfect as Barney Rubble.
Dude, Goodman as Fred. I mean, that's really good.
That is really good.
Rosie O'Donnell, not so much as Betty.
No,
No, Betty and Wilma were hot, and they did not go for hot. I don't know. I don't know why.
I mean, it was a true kids movie. Transport.
Yeah, but Rosie O'Donnell's not even like I don't know. I just don't see it.
She was a
I
different
don't know. I
person
just
in the
don't see
early
it.
90s. She wasn't
Yeah,
what she.
and
She
she's
was
not
still
even that good of an
rocking like,
actress.
yeah. I don't feel like, I mean, I think that Flintstones is a great movie though. I think they did a really good job with it. But
Viva Rock
again, another thing
Vegas
that
sucks.
fell off in the sequel. What'd
Well,
you say?
yeah, you had the guy nobody knows playing Fred. You had one of the Baldwins, like fresh off of a coke binge, playing Barney, and then you
Isn't
had.
that
I think the
Steve?
best part about it is Holly Berry.
I think Steve Baldwin was in this thing. Like he played the same character he did in Biodome.
Yeah,
Same guy.
absolutely. And why the fuck Holly Berry's in that movie? I'll never know. She really must have been desperate for a paycheck.
I wonder why they never did like a real life version of the Jetsons. Like, why didn't they make that movie? I mean, the
They should.
Jetsons movie is great. I
It
can watch
is.
that movie is entirely underrated.
Do you know the Jetsons only lasted one season?
Get the fuck out of here, really?
I know that could be why it really didn't have a lot of staying power. I feel like, but I would. Who would you cast as George Jetson? Because
Ooh.
he's got to be what you figure like 40-ish.
Yeah.
I don't
Believe it or
know.
not, I feel like Jim Carrey would actually do a great job at George Jetson.
You know what? I'll take that. I can
Yeah.
double down on that. Yeah, for sure. I feel like he's too old now.
He is too old now, but he was animated enough that he actually could have pulled it off, I think, really well.
Did you see his birthday party photo? His 62nd birthday?
Yes. Everybody who was ever anybody was there.
And David Spade.
David Spade is widely considered to be in the Illuminati.
Why?
I don't
Isn't
know.
he related to someone like isn't his parents like really rich or something like that?
Yeah, why? My phone is just blinking like a maniac. But yeah, he has to be because I watch like all these like Illuminati like exposure things on Instagram, and every one of them mentions David Spade for some fucking weird reason. I don't know why.
That is a pretty cool last name though.
Spade. I like it.
Yeah. Because you only think of like card games. You
Yeah.
know? I don't
I
know.
mean,
It's like
he's
your last
had
name
good
being
friends that put
Ace.
him in good places.
Yeah. Rob Schneider, not so much.
Rob Snyder sucks.
Yeah. He does suck. Rob Schneider, you suck. I'd still be in a movie with him if he asked me.
Yeah. Do you ever hear the theory that Jetsons and Flintstones take place in the same universe because it was after a world war?
I why not? Favorite John Goodman movie of all time, though, I think might have to be Arachnophobia.
Oh my God, that movie freaked me out so bad.
Dude, they're remaking it.
To date, I've watched it once because spiders freak me the fuck out.
It's such a good movie. You
It
should
is.
watch it. It's so good.
It is a good movie.
Jeff
For the
Daniels.
longest, I thought it was like a Stephen King book, and it's not. It's just a really
Yeah,
fucked up.
it looks like it would be.
Like it falls right in that vein.
Yo, not for nothing. Speaking of, Jeff Daniels actually might have made a pretty good fucking George Jetson.
I can see Jeff Daniels.
Just anybody from
I'm
anybody
gonna
from
I'm gonna I'm
Dumb and
gonna
Dumber.
dead on balls accurate. Danny DeVito is Spacely.
Obviously. I mean,
The
who
only
else?
the only one. That's what
Spacely is it's almost like he based his character in Taxi on Spacely.
bro, it's literally a one of one. Like if he wouldn't sign on, I'd be like, we have no movie.
Absolutely. I agree. Who do you got for Judy Jetson?
You know, it's crazy. Like Judy, she was voiced by Tiffany in the like who was
In the
really
movie?
popular in the 80s. So you'd have
I
to
got
go,
Bella Thorne, man.
huh?
Bella Thorne?
I feel like Bella Thorne would make a Judy. Wait, I feel like Bella Thorne might make a good Jane.
No, wait. Jane's the daughter or
Judy's the
Jane's
daughter. Jane's
the
the wife.
yeah, you gotta go Judy because I mean Bella Thorne's like 30 now, so maybe not, but like maybe the girl from Ant-Man, like Catherine Newton. She's a freaky
Mm.
with Vince Vaughn. That could work for Judy. Jane, I don't know, because Jane's gotta be 42.
I'd want somebody
Maybe Diane Lane.
Jenna Ortega-esque, like in that age group,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's the right age. But I don't feel like Jenna Ortega would work.
No.
Definitely
I
not.
think that if you made this movie in the 90s, I think you would have Jeff Daniels would have been a good George, and I think Diane Lane as his
Perfect.
wife.
Yes,
That's perfect
absolutely.
casting right there, right?
That is really good casting. Yeah,
And if you're in the 90s, why not have Macaulay Culkin as Elroy?
yeah, because he would have been the right age.
Yeah,
That would have actually been perfect too.
that would have been good. I just don't know.
Who's Judy?
I don't know who would have been Judy from that year. I guess you really could have gotten Tiffany to do it. I mean, she would have been the right age.
Judy, Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Okay, I don't know if she would have been movie-ish enough outside of the movie with Pauly Shore, but I can see it.
I feel like she's the right age, and she had that. I don't know. I feel like she would have been a good fit.
She's the fucking Kapowski, bro.
She is the fucking Kapowski. She got a shirt that says the fucking Kapowski.
I used to have a T-shirt with her on it. I don't know what happened to it,
Times have
but
changed.
I think this has been a very productive episode. I do like the idea next week. Movies to fall asleep to. I really enjoy it.
Oh my God. We're
I do.
gonna have a fucking therapist on, and he can explain to me why I have such crazy rules about movies to fall asleep to.
And I can only fall asleep to a movie. Dude, do you have this weird thing with movies you fall asleep to where it's like it can't be something that you really are too interested in because you're afraid of staying awake?
Yes. That's
Yeah.
why it will
Okay.
never be a movie I haven't seen before. It has to be a movie I've seen 1,001 times.
Yeah.
That's the theme. There's two themes to my go to sleep movies, and that will be for next week's episode.
You got it. I'll see you then.
All right, brother.
In the words of Carl Weathers, there is no tomorrow.
Hopefully there is for this.
There isn't for him. And that's sad.
All right, brother.
See you later.